This week on Rugged Expeditions, finally spotting a really, really nice chamois. We just needed him to get into a spot where we had a good rest, a good chance to get a crack at him. But they're little animals. That's a tough, tough target. So you gotta be in the perfect spot. Throwing him on the top. Up there. Yeah. One of the things we hadn't realized when we were up there climbing was just how sick Jeff the cameraman was.
Parker doesn't realize it, but everything they're going to tell him is in Croatian. And this is some of the stuff he's going to be looking forward to that's going to be happening to him.
This episode brought to you by the Pepe Family Jonas Brothers Studios, museum quality taxidermy since 1908.
Europe's got all kinds of great hunting, whether it's hunting the brown bear, whether it's hunting red stags in Hungary, or maybe down in the Balkan Mountains hunting the chamois. They've even got great hunting in Spain. We decided on the way to Croatia to make a quick stop in Spain and get in a little red-legged partridge shooting. We met there with some great friends, and of course, it's always a competition when it comes to shooting birds. Oh yeah, some good eating right there. After all the fun and laughs, though, it was time to get serious and get back in the mountains for some Balkan chamois. Arriving in Croatia, we were met by our great Croatian outfitter and real friend, Josip Tomljanovic, who took us down into a local village, and we bought some fresh fish right off the boat. Woo! And these Croatians know how to cook fish. We learned a new technique while we were there, stuffing fresh grapes inside of fresh fish. What a treat.
Oh my God. That's a real deal right there.
In the morning, we headed up into the mountains in the truck, and Joseph introduced us to our guides who were going to take us up into the mountains. It's always great to get back into the mountains doing what we love. Whether you're out hunting markhor.
So this is what it's all about. The Suleiman markhor.
Ibex.
Look at the horns on this.
The sheep of the world.
Ah, look at that.
There's always something great out there to hunt. And the thing with the ibex and the chamois, they love getting up in those steep, rocky areas. We've climbed up in this fog, and it's dead calm, which is great. So we're gonna try and get around this other side of the ridge where they've seen some chamois up on the top in the rock piles and that, so this is nice if we're sneaking up on this. Fog will let us get right in on top of them without them seeing us. It doesn't matter what kind of chamois you're hunting. There's several subspecies of them. They all like to live in the high rocky parts, and they like to get into the timber and rat around also. The chamois is unique in that their horns go straight up and then curl back at the tips. There's no other type of goat or sheep that has that type of a horn formation. In that way, all the chamois are similar. You do find different kinds of color patterns, though, on some of the chamois. Some are lighter, some are darker, depending on the terrain that they live in. There's even wolves here in Croatia. You can see this pile right here. He's been eating hair. Looks like it's probably chamois hair that's in his doo-doo here. It looks like a young one. It's not a very big wolf, but they're here. And we got a license for one just in case. I think the dog is hip to it too. He smells wolf doo-doo.
One of the guides brought along this great dog that he was training. These short-legged hounds are used if you do wound an animal, whether it's a chamois or a wild boar or whatever, they turn the dog loose and he's trained to follow that blood, and that's his job.
We're gonna go and down below here a little ways, there's a small rock house. We're gonna go in there and hang out. This fog's not lifting like it should, so all we can do is go and take it easy for a little while, maybe glass as it starts to break up, but it's just socked right in. It should have lifted by now, but every time I try and fight Mother Nature, it doesn't work, so all you can do is wait it out. She always seems to win.
Going through those mountains and the weather not getting any better, it started to get pretty treacherous. The weather never got better. Luckily, the guys knew of a sheepherder's cabin made out of rocks and stone and some old logs that they had there. We were able to get in there and have ourselves a little lunch. Some of us might have had a little siesta while we were waiting too.
It's like a viper, the horned viper. This is a snake that's found right here in Croatia, throughout the Mediterranean area. Somebody's carved this out years and years and years ago. See, the body runs down like that. That's pretty good for out here. I think we might have to call this spot Snake Cabin.
The area we're hunting here in Croatia consists of a lot of old villages. They've been gone for a long time. You can still see the rock walls. You can see some of the old structures. Really a cool place to hunt.
Up here in these mountains, hundreds, maybe thousands of years ago, the people built these rock walls to keep their domestic animals in at night, protect them from the wolves and the bears that are here, and there's bobcats, jackals. So they would build these walls up, keep them down in these hollows, and then it was probably walled all the way across the back there at one time. But you can see it's a natural place for it. But look at all the work that went into building a wall like this. Incredible.
After lunch, we got back out there, hoping and praying that the clouds were gonna lift and maybe the rain would stop at least. But it wasn't to be. It turned out to be a long, cold, wet afternoon in the mountains.
We climbed up on this ridge to try and hopefully get this fog line to lift, but you can see in the background here how it's just hovering right where we need it to be. The chamois are all up above there, so we're gonna hike back around here and see if it'll lift some more, but if it doesn't lift, we're just going for a long hike. But at least we're on the top of the mountain, which always feels good to get on the top finally.
One of the things we hadn't realized when we were up there climbing was just how sick Jeff the cameraman was.
Jeff, where are you going? Again?
Now, I know I'm a little bit rough on cameramen. I kind of go through them, you know, some of them can't hack the pace or whatever their excuse is. But Jeff's been not bad. You know, he's been on a lot of the trips. He's kind of like my right-hand man. So I was a little bit surprised when we got down to the bottom of the hill and we had to take him to the hospital.
Okay, this is a new twist. We've got Jeff the cameraman on TV today. What's wrong there, cameraman?
Apparently I got a dose of, we could flash back right now, but I could just tell you, food poisoning, probably
What?
at the airport.
Have you learned what the Croatian word for doo-doo is?
Not yet, but I've done enough that I should know it by now.
His recommendation was a cork, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This is the part that hurts right here.
Ma neću da me snima.
A dobro da onom recite da stane samo snima sad kad se treba da rade
What are you thinking right now?
I'm just wondering where this needle's been, but other than that, I'm pretty good.
Ovo možeš prebaciti.
Parker doesn't realize it, but everything they're going to tell him is in Croatian. And this is some of the stuff he's going to be looking forward to that's going to be happening to him. And it's that lower region right there that he's really concerned with right now, so. I'm sure it'll be fine though.
Next morning, found the whole crew, including Jeff the cameraman, back out on the mountain, where this time Joseph said, for sure, if the weather's good, you will see a nice chamois, for sure. Finally spotting really, really nice chamois. Made all the previous days climbing and the rain and the muck well worthwhile.
We finally got a break in this weather. And we saw some chamois up on the very top here from down in the valley when we first started hiking. So now we're gonna try and get up there. They're in among the rocks and the trees, so we've got one marker, this kind of pinnacle that we're gonna work off of. Hopefully this weather will stay broken up like it is right now. Yeah. He's moving away fast. Quick up. There's a big male and a smaller one. But they broke away from the herd. And now they're gone up onto this far side.
We just needed him to get into a spot where we had a good rest, a good chance to get a crack at him. But they're little animals. That's a tough, tough target. So you gotta be in the perfect spot. This was a good one. I figured we were just right, that the setup was perfect. We started to get into position when all of a sudden I could feel that wind at the back of my neck, and that was it for Mr. Chamois. As bummed as we were that now this trophy that we've been climbing for was gone, you're already there, so we decided our best chance, and with the wind blowing the way it was, that we needed to go to the left as well. Getting up to a nice spot where the guide was looking in one direction, and I thought, well, maybe I can get up a little bit higher and look down into the valley, maybe see him down the brush. I decided to go ahead and climb up a little bit higher and scoot through some rocks. I heard the guide whistle from down below, and it looked like he'd actually seen the chamois, and it must have been the right one, because this guy knows what he's doing.
He's in among some trees and some small rocks over here, so we got to try and get into a better spot than this.
It wasn't exactly as flat and decent as I thought it was, so now I had to make my way across a bit of a touchy spot. When you're up there sneaking around in the brush and the rocks, you're trying to be quiet, you never know what's going to happen, and you never know if there's a chamois maybe even only 50 feet away from you.
We've spotted a group of chamois up on those rocks behind us. There's a group of females and 2 males in with them. So if we can get up above here and come across the side hill, we've got the wind just right for us. Hopefully they'll still be there because we got at least 2 hours, maybe 3 hours, depending on how long it takes us to get up there, but we'll give it hell. It was obvious that the best idea was to join back up with my guide because he'd seen the animal, and maybe we'd get into a position where I'd get another crack at it. Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, here he came, up over the top of the rock, facing right at us. But at least I had a good rest.
You want him on the top? Yes. After all this, I was afraid that if he was going to come out to the right and keep going up that rock he faced, to the right there's no shot in those bushes and that. And then I got this bush right here in the way. That was the only slot I had, was if he came out there to the left, right onto that ledge. And then to turn broadside like that, huh? Hey! Whew. Well, I don't see an easy way to get there, do you? We better go find out. Oh, he's hit again. There's some more blood right there. Yeah, here's some more over here. There he is, right there.
Go. Good position. Let's go down.
Oh, right. He didn't go that far, huh? It was just right here and then, oh yeah. Awesome. Yo, they never fall in a good spot, do they? Wow. Always come in a great spot, these things. Oh yeah. Look at that, huh? The Balkan chamois right here in Croatia. Very, very nice one. Good hooks on him, very heavy. This is what we want. We want these old ones like this that are, well, I don't know, must be 8 years old, something like that. Very nice. Got a little bit of battle scars on him. This is a great trophy. Man, look at the markings, huh? Kind of golden on their neck. Gave us a slip for quite a few hours, but it was our turn, not his.
Croatia is one of those places that you're always going to come back to. The people are fun. It's a great culture. No prettier place to hunt on earth than Croatia. And the mountains are always going to call you back.